Dear brothers and sisters, today we are celebrating the third Sunday of Advent, year A, which is also known as Gaudete Sunday, which means rejoice. And why is the church asking us to rejoice? Because the coming of Christ is near, who is coming to restore everything to the original order, to their goodness. In the first reading from the book of Isaiah the prophet, Isaiah comes up to comfort the people, and he asks them not to fear. And why does Isaiah ask them not to fear? Because their God was coming. And the coming of their God was to change things, to give them, to give life to those who are lifeless, to give meaning the meaningless, name the nameless, value the valueless, the valueless. Compare the words of Isaiah the prophet in the first reading. He says, the wilderness and the dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice and blossom. Like the crocus, it shall blossom abundantly and rejoice with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given to it, the majesty of Carmel and Shalom. They shall see the glory of the Lord and the majesty of our God. Strengthen the weak hands and make them feeble knees. Make firm the feeble knees. Say to those who are fearful of heart. That's the word that we get from Isaiah. And the word of God continues to tell us that He will come to save you and me. When we look at our gospel today, we hear John the Baptist is in prison, and he heard about the acts and the works of Jesus. And then he sent out his disciples to inquire if Jesus was the Messiah expected to come. Please note that Jesus did not answer them yes or no, not say, I am the Messiah. No, but Jesus gave them the answer. And he said, and told them, go and tell John what you see and what you hear. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the poor have good news brought to them. And that was the answer of Jesus Christ to the disciples of John the Baptist. Sometimes we may be uncertain about certain things, people. For example, people have always come up claiming to be the Messiah, or to be God, or to be Jesus. At the end, people realize they have either been duped, they have been cheated, or they have been misled. This could have been the very reason why John the Baptist sent some of the disciples to confirm if Christ was the Messiah. Jesus did not want to give an answer, or an answer plainly that he was the Messiah, but he allowed his life and his action to define him as the Messiah. At the hands of the Messiah, the blind receive their sight. The lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, and the dead are raised to life, and the poor have good news brought to them. And that is what defines Jesus as the Messiah. Because you remember in the script of Isaiah, we find it in the Gospel of Luke chapter 4, where it says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, He has anointed me to bring good news to the poor, glad tidings to the hungry, and the freedom, the captive. That the work and the ministry of Jesus defines him as the Messiah. The answer of Jesus, the disciple of John, is important in the sense that Jesus invites us first to be witnesses. The way he told the disciples of John, go and tell John what you see and hear. Jesus does not want us to give people false hope, to give them hot air, empty words, as we see several what people do. But he wants us how our own experience, once we have seen and heard what Jesus has done, is what we are able to tell people, what we are able to share people. But other than giving many empty words as we see people do these days. Our readings today invite us to rejoice because the Messiah came, the Messiah comes, and the Messiah will come again. Only the Messiah can change our situation and give us address, those without names, those without names, dignity, to all those without dignity, status without all of us who have no status. That's exactly what the Word of God is telling us in our today's readings. We only need to rejoice as we light our third candle, the candle of joy, which is pink in color today, because the Messiah is coming to change our situation. Our readings today also invite us to seek clarification in case we are not sure, in case of doubt. When John the Baptist was in prison and he wasn't sure about Jesus being the Messiah, he sent out his disciples to confirm. Seeking clarification helps us not to be fooled, duped, and helps us to overcome all the rumors. That's what we are able to know the truth, because thinking the truth is thinking God. Another lesson that we get today from our reading is that the action of Jesus defined him as the Messiah. The question I have for you, my brother, my sister, is when we look at your actions, when you look at an action, who do they define me to be? Because the action of Jesus defined him as the Messiah. Now, my actions and your actions define you to be who? The answer is deep in your heart. The sending of the disciples of John to Jesus had a lot of meaning. That is, John was in prison and he wasn't sure what his end in prison would be. And it was also one way that John was trying to decrease so that Jesus can be able to increase. He wanted the disciples, his own disciples, to look at Jesus so that they may be able to follow Christ. And we know that some of the disciples and the apostles of Jesus were the disciples of John. So John the Baptist was trying to decrease. It was a sign of humility before Jesus Christ, so that his disciples could be able to recognize Jesus and identify him, so they may be able to follow him, because he was already in prison and he knew that Jesus was much better than him. And that's why he even sent his disciples to Jesus. Sometimes we live like the lame, like the blind, prisoners, poor, and the like. We need Christ to bring us glad tidings, to give us freedom, to heal us and set us free. And we are invited, once you have been set free, once you have been healed, also to be Messiah to other people, to bring good news to others. How many people are around us but have no good news? How many people are around us but are heartbroken? How many people are around us and are sick? How many people are in prison? Both being in prison, not that you are locked up, but those who are enduring spiritual changes. And that is what our reading of this Sunday are inviting us to be like Jesus, to be the Messiah, to bring people good tidings, that when we are there, people are able to recover their sight, people are able to receive the good news. Having doubt and seeking clarification is good. Our quest for truth, our quest for God must lead us asking right questions, so that we have rightful answers and be convinced of the presence of God. Jesus today, in our readings, defined what type of Messiah he was. The Jews expected a political Messiah, being under the Roman rule. They expected that they would get a political Messiah who would come to fight and return the kingdom of Israel to them. But Jesus came as a spiritual Messiah. That his kind of messiahship involved love, giving sight to the blind, the lame are able to walk, those who are sick are able to recover. That my brother, my sister, sometimes we may be under oppression, we may be living a situation which is very hard. The Word of God does not invite us to be violent. It asks us that we can confront these situation with love, just like Jesus. And you know, with love we can change many things, and we have seen that violence has failed on very many occasions to bring peace, to bring change that we desire. It's only when we embrace love, we be like Jesus Christ. We love our brother and sister, we correct our brother, we heal the sick, we feed the hungry. We are able to bring a positive change that we need in our lives. And our second reading tells us how we can do this, how we can do all this. The second reading tells us about the virtue of patience. That as we wait for the liberation, for the coming of Jesus Christ, for blessing, for grace in our life, we need to be patient as we wait for the coming of the Messiah. My dear brother, my dear sister, you might be suffering, you might be sick, you might be hungry, you might have no job. Jesus is asking us to not give up through his word. In the second reading, he's asking us to be patient, to carry on. Because you know the coming of Christ, everything will be changed, and Christ does not delay. Christ comes in his own time, and when he comes in his own time, things will be good, there will be glad tidings. The Lord be with you.